Friday night basketball. A 7-2 Colossus out of Georgetown. Roy Hibbert and the Indiana Pacers go up against the Charlotte Bobcats. Indiana, Charlotte, coming right up.
The points flow from this man in huge quantities. Here's Danny Granger on arrival. Welcome to Charlotte as we get set to bring you the Bobcats as they'll take it to the hole at the Time Warner Cable Arena. It's the end of a string of away games for the Pacers as they look forward to returning home after this one. They won on the road in San Antonio the other night.
The difference was their edge on the offensive side of the court. They made some key baskets, and it always comes down to that. Trying to set the pace, that enabled them to win the game.
Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Danny Granger and Tyler Hansbrough make up the forwards. Collison is out there with Jones and Hibbert. And for the Bobcats, Jackson teams with Wallace on the perimeter. Tyrus Thomas out there with Nazir Muhammad and Augustine. Here is Hansbrough. Granger against Wallace. From deep. Collison, no good.
Collison didn't make much noise until January of last season, but boy, did he make up for it.
Down low. So it's Indiana now. Here's Granger. Jackson grabs the board. On defense, Indiana. You look at Collison's numbers, like you were saying, 21-8 in February, 17-9 in March, 19 and almost 8 assists in April.
Boy, those are fantastic numbers. And you get the feeling, Kevin, that if he was getting more consistent minutes the first few months of last season, he could have had a real good look at Rookie of the Year.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Hey, Kevin, a bit ago, Larry Brown and I were able to chat. Their focus will largely be centered on defense today. He said if we challenge them and make them work hard for every point, I don't think they'll have the energy left to handle us defensively. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris. So defense is the key early on.
You know, it's not surprising, Kevin, when you think about the great team. So much of their game planning really starts at the defensive end of the floor.
Here's Hibbert. And, yep, that falls, and the foul is called. We'll see him shoot one from the free throw line. Nice job at the line, and that one falls to pick up the and one. Not a memorable debut for the Bobcats in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. Getting swept is no fun, but it wasn't like they were playing a pushover team in the Orlando Magic. I mean, they were the defending Eastern Conference champions, so they had their hands full, and it showed.
It's blocked. Here's Augustine. It's a little short, but gets the friendly roll. Here's Collison. He picked up 12 points in their last win against San Antonio. Here's Hibbert. He dumps it off. Right side, Collison. He's off from three.
He was off the mark on that one, but I hope the defense isn't planning to play him like that continuously. I mean, he'll knock down open shots from out there.
Here's Augustine. Muhammad covered by Hibbert. Wallace. Let's go with the three. Hibbert corrals the miss inside. But with the Bobcats making the playoffs, definitely something to build on.
You have to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. Yeah, it's better than not making the postseason at all. No doubt about that, Kevin. They definitely took some big steps last year, and they'll hope to continue that success this season.
But now they become the hunted and not the hunter.
There you go.
Here's Augustine after Danny Granger's bucket. Outside Thomas. Jackson to Thomas. Graceful finish on the alley-oop. Thomas got his first bucket of the night.
Those two are in such great sync. I mean, tremendous symmetry there. The perfect pass and a perfect finish.
It really looked like he read his mind before lobbing that ball up there. Here is Collison following the score by Charlotte. Now Hibbert. Arcs it high, and he lays that one up and in. He has 5.
That was one of those nice little teardrops that looks like it doesn't have a prayer and then softly drops right in.
Augustine with it. He's covered by Collison. Pass to Jackson. cannot hit, and Indiana will go the other way with it. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
You know, Kevin, I think it sort of came down to the fact they did not have to deal with a lot of pressure from the defense they were facing. Had they been up against a good defense, it could have easily been a different story.
Hansbrough misses. Bobcats trail by 3. Tipped. Now Jones. They just worked San Antonio in that last game. Wallace covering. Blocked. Augustine with it. Picked up by Collison. Back to Jackson. Behind the arc. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
The defense made the mistake of playing off him, and he drained it from deep.
On the wing, Granger. Wallace covering. Fires from 14. A nice shot by Granger. Granger's got his second bucket of the night. And here's Augustine. Pass to Wallace. Here's Jackson. Drains it from short range. Jackson's got 5.
Excellent anticipation there, Kev. He placed that pass perfectly.
Outside Collison. Jones working against Jackson. Hibbert with it. Kept alive. Second shot opportunity.
Well, he grabbed that ball right out of the air to pick it off. That's not easy to do. You got to have quick hands to do that.
Here's Wallace. And he misses the go-ahead basket. Here comes Collison. Not on the scoreboard yet. Hibbert inside. Muhammad's there. Hibbert hits the bucket. Here's Augustine. About 6.5 minutes left in the first. It's dumped off. Here's Jackson. Off target from downtown.
You know what? Even if they are only so-so from deep, you can't leave players open like that from the arc.
Got that bucket in no time at all. Collison's got his first points of the night. Bobcats trail by 4. Augustine with it. Over Granger. Augustine, no luck.
When you settle for that kind of shot, that's a wasted possession. That is not a high percentage look.
Granger with the bucket.
Boy, he's really special. The defense has to account for him at all times.
And now the first timeout called here for the Bobcats. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
Well, they just never seem to get untracked. They struggled to get into their usual groove. I mean, it seemed like they were disjointed and off balance and tentative all game long.
Kwame Brown, who's checked in for Nazi Muhammad. Back to Wallace, and Granger picks him up defensively. Here's Jackson, and good off the glass as he lays it in. Jackson's got his third basket of the night right there.
This guy is really providing a lot of offense for him right now.
Left side, Collison.
And even though they have an early lead, they need to focus on squeezing the orange.
And the jam by Tyrus Thomas. A replay here. The Spike Slam Cam showing us how it's done.
Oh, my goodness. Nobody stopped the ball. The D made that much too easy for him.
Indiana leading. And this matchup with the Bobcats, it's their first meeting of the season.
The first of 4 between these teams this season.
Here's Augustine. Left side, Thomas. Uncovered. Rebounded by Granger.
You absolutely have to make the defense respect you there, Kevin. He was wide open and couldn't drill it.
It's taken away by Wallace. 4 games, 1 team. That's a nice chunk of your schedule.
Exact same conference too, Kevin. So anytime you face a conference team, it's even more important and significant that you take them out. There's another example, Kevin, of how they're hustling to all the missed shots to get an edge in the rebounding area.
Deflects the pass. And it's that hustle, Clark, that translates into more opportunities, getting going fast here.
Yep, exactly right. They're really going after it to start this game. A nice, good start for them.
And a change here for the Pacers. Poked away. Wallace against Granger. And, oh, that was close. He draws the foul. He'll shoot two. Looking at Danny Granger, a great wing player, taken out of New Mexico, taken number 17, in fact, by the Indiana Pacers, Clark, back in 2005.
Boy, and that's a great value at that pick, Kevin. I mean, he's turned into their franchise player. 2 seasons ago was his big breakthrough. He's an all-star. They run their offense through him, and he's responded, finishing 5th in the league in scoring.
Derek Brown, he's checked in for the Bobcats. Jackson, that's good. Here is Collison. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Here's Foster, and that one's in from the low post. And the Pacers lead by 2. But Clark, last season, Granger's shooting percentages fell across the board. He was still a top 10 scorer, but the efficiency wasn't quite there.
Injuries played a part in that, Kevin, and also the supporting cast was a little disjointed. He needs some help, there's no doubt about that. They need another high-level point producer, do the Pacers, to help Danny Granger out.
On offense, here are the Pacers. Now Collison. Deflected.
The lob was a little misjudged, and he couldn't get control of it.
And now our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, has some info for us. Doris, take it away.
Kevin, rookie Paul George wasn't a big-name prospect going into last season at Fresno State. He said, I think that definitely gives me the edge. I always play with a chip on my shoulder, being the underdog, being a guy that's not high profile. That's where I get most of my fight from. He has the talent to be special, guys. We'll see if he uses that edge.
Thank you, Doris. Augustine with it. Granger covering. Jackson to Thomas. Augustine kept alive. Here's Brown, up high and down hard.
He is so tenacious on the boards. How many times have we seen putbacks like that from him?
He can clear out the paint like very few others can.
You know what you might call him, Kevin? A rebounding virtuoso.
Yeah, I like that. That's right. So it's Indiana now, following the score by Charlotte. Here's Foster, and that's floated right up and in.
Nice bucket there. He isn't naturally quick, but he's deceptive. He kept the defense off balance and then took it to the rack.
And here's Augustine. Outside Jackson. Tosses it up. Nick Roberts inhales it.
Really not enough defensive pressure there to force that miss. He's got to be disappointed. It's been a tough quarter right now. They can't seem to get into any kind of rhythm or flow. They just keep giving the ball away.
Just much too sloppy play so far. Here's Collison.
And you know, he's really struggled this game holding on to the basketball.
Up ahead, Augustine. He's covered by Collison. They retain possession. Kept alive. A foul called, and he earns a trip to the line. Let's pause to take a look at the teams that really made their opposing teams earn their points a season ago. You look at the Bobcats, the best defensive team in basketball. Boy, are they rugged.
Kevin, these guys were the best at controlling the pace of their games with their defensive intensity. That's why they led the league in points allowed. They didn't have a run-and-gun game by any means. They understood the importance of controlling tempo so that they could be solid defensively.
Catching up on the changes for Charlotte. Nazi Muhammad's checked in for Brown. Diaw comes in for Tyrus Thomas. And it's Livingston in for Augustine. The Pacers making a switch here. Here's Rush. He also had a big impact in that win against the Spurs. Backing down is Hibbert. Tried to convert on the alley-oop, but snatched away.
Good anticipation for the steal.
Knocked loose. Indiana on D. They trail by 3. Here's Livingston. Nails it from close range. And the Bobcats lead by 5.
No one really contested him at the basket that time, Kevin. He's just too good in there to leave the door open for him.
Outside Collison. Brown against Granger. Here's Rush. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
That's dangerous living, giving a shooter a look like that. I bet he doesn't miss that shot the next time they give it to him.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Diaw. Great D that time from Collison. And here is Granger. He's got 7. Launches it. Steven Jackson grabs the board. First quarter over, and big numbers up on the board. Bobcats lead by 5.
Yeah, they've done a great job of pressuring the ball and coming up with steals. It's hard to win if you can't protect the rock.
And we'll be back in just a moment.